I want to talk for a minute about us as parents, as adults who have been kind of trying to help these littles navigate the pandemic. And I think I want to come back to something that Serena was saying about feeling burnt out. Just that constant kind of vigilance that we have to do. Like we've added so much to our plates in terms of, what are, thinking about mask mandates and, hand washing and, the kids are going to school. Do I need to get them little hand sanitizer things to go on their book bags. And I bought 4 at-home COVID kits as part of my back to school shopping this year, like something that I never would have thought about 2 years ago. But now that's something that I'm thinking about and something that I'm trying to prepare for. And so as we've had this, more on our plates, particularly as parents of small children. I'm just curious to see, I know we've talked a little bit about walks and things like that. Are there any other habits that you've adopted for yourself to kind of keep you grounded, to keep you optimistic, to keep your cup full as you handle this parenting experience?
I can share. I struggled with postpartum anxiety after my last child was, and part of that was she was born a week into lockdown. So I'm not sure if it was postpartum anxiety or just general anxiety of what the world was happening with and having a newborn during that period. So I sought out a therapist, and that we do telehealth. Probably like every 6 weeks or something, but it's an hour that's just mine. Kids are not around. I can talk about whatever I want. And so that's really like a judgment free area. That's been really helpful for me to have that space. I'm also a big talker, and that's how I process a lot of what's going on for me. So having friends and family that I know I can just call and just be like, my husband is driving me insane, and there's way too much of us together, and not to feel like I'm going to be judged about that. So those safe people that I can talk to, I try and connect with them at least once, twice a week, just because that's how I fill my cup with those. Just even if it's not all about me, it's sometimes about them, and just connecting over what life's going on and how to save for that. So those have been my two big pieces. Besides going outside has been a lifesaver. I have to do it, and I miss it on the days when I'm hybrid now. So I've started going back to the office, and it's something I haven't built into that culture of when I was there. So I'm trying to get that into the culture of what I'm doing when I'm there as well.
There's been two things for me. I think, Danielle, what you said, it's like the me time, like how to find that really specific time without feeling so guilty, because there's a million other things that are going on. Like, so I think at the beginning I was always like, oh, I'm gonna go on a run on my own. That I was like, but I could be spending time with my kids because I'm not working right now. And then I was like, stop with this. So now every day I try to have at least like half hour or 45 minutes on my own. And I do the Headspace app. So it gives you like every day there's like a 1 minute breathing, a little something about the day. And then I do a 3 minute meditation. I know it's like nothing 3 minutes, but like that's what I can figure out without having my mind going like so crazy about other things that I need to do. And then going on like something that is like moving my body. So whether it's like running or bar or whatever other Pilates class that I do online, like I have to do something 30 minutes of exercise and then like 10 minutes of meditation or like something for my own headspace. And that has really helped me so much, because then I feel like when I can take care of myself, I am a way better human to my husband and my kids.
I've found, even since before the pandemic, since I'm home with the kids all the time, is you have to give yourself grace like you give your kids. Like your kids mess up and you forgive them. You kind of have to do that for yourself. And so for me, it's kind of along the lines of like, I know when it comes to schooling, there's, we're going to use screens in some fashion. And I know they say don't use the TV as a babysitter, but I'll just be like, hey, one of the things we subscribe to is the masterclass website, and they're watching one about by an astronaut talking about going to space and rockets, and they love it. And so I'm like, okay, like I told them, now they're upstairs for rest, which kids need rest. my 11-year-old still rests every day. We give them rest time. They have to go to their room. Tell them you don't have to sleep, but you have to be quiet. So that's been a godsend as well. But with this right now, they're resting, and I told them, I have the TV set up. When you're done, if this isn't done, just go to the room and start the master class. And so it gives me time, and like I said, you just have to give yourself a little grace and a little knowledge that your kids, honestly, your kids they want to be around you, but they like having time just themselves too, just like you do.
That's important to remember. I feel like that question is so perfect for you, Tara. Having your self-care suite. Is there something that you can share with us to just sort of enlighten us on how we can be more mindful about taking more time for ourselves, and also offering our children to take more time for themselves?
Yeah. So one of the things that I frequently say to people when I'm talking to members in my community, because they all, mostly 95% of them are mothers. And even if they're not, they have people in their lives that look up to them. They have nieces, nephews, etc. And what I want us to all do is really take part in this culture of self-care, this culture of well, I saw my dad, rest, or my dad, taught me the importance of resting every day, or I saw my mom, and, it might be a different thing where I saw my mom get herself a Starbucks to start her day, and she enjoyed that. And so I really want us to get started with that culture of self-care. For me, over this past year or so, I will definitely say that community has been a lifesaver. And I think I saw the Marco Polo app in the chat. My friend, I have a lot of extroverted friends. I'm an introvert. And my extroverted friends got me on Voxer, which I feel like kind of works the same way. And I was very resistant.
I hate Voxer.
Yeah, I was so resistant to the idea of like leaving each other messages all day long. I was like, well, why don't, like, I could just text you. Like, I don't understand the point of this. And now we're like leaving each other like 10-minute messages like throughout the day. It's a lot, but I thoroughly enjoy it because we can just have these like little mini conversations throughout the day. I don't have to necessarily stop and have, an hour and a half conversation, which we would normally do. But now that the kids are home, our husbands are home all the time, we have dogs and cats and everything that we're adjusting to. Having those apps to connect with my friends and to share what's going on, like Danielle, I think Danielle is the one who said that she's a talker, likes to talk things out to kind of get things in her mind together. But that has been a godsend to me. I know, Adam, I really resisted Voxer. Like, my friend had to ask me like 4 or 5 times to download it.
Well, in fairness, I've never used it for personal use. I've only used it in a business setting.
Oh.
And in a business setting, it's just like you said, it's just getting voicemail after voicemail.
Yeah.
When it's like, you could have just emailed me this and I wouldn't have to go back 20 messages to see what it was you said. So in a friend setting, that sounds a lot better.
Yeah, definitely in a friend setting. I couldn't imagine using it for business. But no, that is kind of the backbone of my self-care. And then also getting enough rest, getting enough sleep. I always tell people you can do all these things. You can meditate, you can go for walks, you can exercise. But I really think like the building block of anybody's self-care routine should be sleep. And so I live and die by my bedtime alarm. I had to bump it up because my daughter gets picked up from school picks up to go to school at 6:45. So I had to bump up my bedtime alarm. I think it's like 8:15 now. So 8:15, I start winding down so I can go to bed. But really making sure that I get enough rest every night is like the key. I don't function well on less than 8 hours of sleep. And so, I really try my best to make sure that I get it, because if I get 8 hours of sleep, I'm much more patient, I'm much more understanding, I'm much more just willing to, do all the things that comes along with the new day and all the ever-changing news. And so, yeah, those community and sleep, those are my 2 big ones. If you have a strong community, strong network, and enough rest, whether that's sleep or a nap during the day or just, quiet time for yourself, a half hour more. I think those are two things that should be the backbone.